So today we're going to talk about twisted pair media. Essentially, this is copper wires twisted together in pairs surrounded by an insulating jacket. Think Cat 5, Cat 5e, Cat 6, Cat 7, that sort of thing. So we're going to look at twisted pairs. This is probably the most common networking bounded media. Even today, with the advent and the accelerated development of Wi-Fi, physical twisted pair networking is still considerably more reliable. So let's go ahead and look at twisted pair media. Okay, the ANSI TIA standard used to be called the EIA standard, is a standard for telecommunications bounded media. ANSI TIA 568A is the wire pattern usually used in crossover cables. Most people use the 568B pattern, which is orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. They use that for straight through cables, and then if they make a crossover cable, they make one end 568B and one end 568A. To be honest, unless you're working in a pretty strict environment that already has set up using this pattern, as long as both ends of the cable are identical, it really doesn't matter. But at the same time, if you're working in an environment where they're already using 568B, which is probably going to be the most common, you're going to want to use 568B to build your cables, because if you don't, your cables won't work. They will not be compatible with the environment. So 568A is crossover, 568B is straight through cables. And this is the pattern. This is 568A. Basically, you've got, starting with the pairs, pair 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the pin order 1 through 8. There are 8 pins in an RJ45 connector. And the colors are white, green, white, white, orange, blue, white, blue, orange, and white, brown, brown. And then for 568B, it's orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, blue, white, green, brown, white, brown. You'll notice that between the two, the blues and the greens, or the orange and the green rather, switch places. And that is the only difference. But that creates, if you have this on one end and this on the other, that creates a crossover cable that allows you to connect two computers without having a hub or a switch or anything like that. RJ11 connector, that is a 6-position 4-contact connector. Basically, that is what you would use to connect old telephone lines. It looks like a network connector, an RJ45 connector for a computer, but it's much smaller. And it uses a smaller set of pairs. There's only four contacts, so there's only 4 wires, basically 2 pairs inside the RJ11, where in the RJ45 it has 8 contacts, so there are 4 pairs. That's what it looks like. Make sure you're doing these participation activities and getting these done, because they are required for the grade. All right, so let's look at the Ethernet naming convention. First of all, 100 is the speed, 100 megabits. Communication is baseband, and the physical medium is twisted pairs. That's what the TX stands for. 10 base T is 10 megabits, and that is twisted pair. 100 base TX is fast Ethernet. That's what most people, even today, most people have. It's 100 megabits, and it's twisted pair. And then gigabit is 1000 base T. This has to be Cat 5e or Cat 6 or above. 10 gigabit, well, you see the pattern developing here. And then 40 gigabit, 40G base, and 10G base. Those are the gigabit ones. All right, once again, you have a participation activity. ISO, IEC standards. These are just different industrial standards. Shielded twisted pair, STP, means that there is shielding material, usually aluminum foil, inside the insulating jacket to prevent EMI from things like microwave ovens. Anytime you run a networking cable near electronic components, you have the potential to get interference and attenuation. Unshielded twisted pairs, this is just straight Cat 5e, Cat 6, whatever. There's no shielding material. Category 5, that is 100 base or 100 megabit standard cable. Cat 5e will go up to a gigabit. Usually nobody uses Cat 5 anymore. Cat 6 will go to 10 gigabits. Cat 6 augmented or Cat 6A will go up to 10 gigabits for 330 feet versus 180 feet for Cat 6. Cat 7, 40 gigabits. It's not standardized and is considered proprietary, which means that it may or may not fit in with your situation, your circumstances. Cat 8, and that's 40 gigabits for a maximum distance of 100 feet. Plenum rated, this is a material where the insulating material, generally it's you can use it inside a plenum. It won't burn or it won't melt and produce toxic fumes. That's one of the things. Riser rated also will work inside of risers. If you're using riser boxes, then you need to use riser rated cable. Don't forget the activity straight through cable. This is a cable that either has 568A or 568B pattern on both ends. A crossover alternates. One end is 568A, the other is 568B. A rollover or console cable is a twisted pair segment with opposite pin assignments on each cable. So a rollover cable is also known as a console cable. These are specialized cables. We will not be studying them any deeper. You just need to know that they exist. Another activity, another challenge activity, and that pretty well covers twisted pair cabling. As we stated, twisted pair cabling is probably the most common network bounded media today. Fiber is catching up, and different things are catching up, but as far as current infrastructure goes, Cat 6, gigabit, there's not as much 40 gig or 10 gig, and there's not so much 100 megabits anymore. A lot of residential and a lot of commercial networking is 1 gigabit and Cat 5e, Cat 6, things like that. Those are the least expensive options. So if you have any questions, contact me via the Canvas inbox or ask me in class, and I'll do my best to help with those questions. Have a good day.